Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Pogorzelski, and I have the good fortune of being the CEO at Avention. And you may know Avention and that we've long specialized in sales acceleration software, but we've seen a major trend in the last year or so, and that's a shift towards account-based marketing, or ABM, as it's known. In this session, we'll show you not only what technology you'll need to build a successful ABM stack, but we'll also highlight a customer success story so you can see how ABM really pays off. So be sure to stick around for that part of the presentation. The goal of sales is revenue, right? Plain and simple. And anything companies can do to accelerate that lead to revenue process is something I'm sure all of you as sales professionals are interested in. Look, if I told you that 84% of companies in a recent ITSMA survey said that account-based marketing delivers a higher ROI than other marketing programs, it's an approach you can't afford to ignore. So whether you're at the executive level and responsible for the strategy behind your programs, or whether you're a sales rep trying to close the deal, ABM and sales is proving its value time and time again through larger pipelines, higher revenue, and shorter sales cycles. With ABM, we'll see in a few minutes how one customer has crushed goals in every quarter. That's every quarter since implementing an account-based approach, and we'll look at the tech stack it took them to do it. At the core, the main point of account-based marketing is to identify the accounts that are going to yield the most revenue for your company, and then market and sell deeply into those accounts in a hyper-targeted way. That means having deep insights on those accounts and how their needs match your value prop. And by knowing this information, you can accelerate your sales cycle to either expand your footprint in existing accounts or penetrate net new accounts. Today, we're going to talk about how to find those accounts and contacts, how to get smart about them so we can properly engage with them in order to take the lead from qualified to close, and of course, the technology required to make that all happen. ABM doesn't start with engagement. One thing we've seen is an urge to jump to customer engagement without the proper account selection and insights. Now, if you're going to do this, it's essentially like building your entire program on quicksand. You must, let me underline the word must, you must build a proper foundation for your program before you start to engage. And that foundation starts with data. Without clean, accurate, real-time data, you don't have a good view of your customer or the market, let alone key contacts or companies within that market. Secondly, sales and marketing need to align around this data. And they also need to align around processes and goals for your ABM program. This alignment between sales and marketing is critical to be sure that the ABM program stays on track with as much acceleration as possible. So if you're a salesperson or a sales leader listening today and your marketing colleagues are not participating, you should encourage them to get engaged in this topic. We have never seen a successful ABM program where sales and marketing were not aligned. An ABM approach does have several phases. Technology can support each of those, of course. Now, there's been a lot of talk about an ABM technology stack. And while you can certainly find multiple vendors to address each of the phases below, you can also start as simple as your CRM and your marketing automation program backed by solid account, contact, and market data. Here's a view on all phases that ensure the proper front-end research and the alignment that can accelerate tactical execution and engagement. A lot of people skip the very important first step in the process, and that's understanding your current market. Look, in order to do this, you need a technology that will not only analyze your current customer database, but will also augment it with outside third-party data. Now, the key here is finding a provider that will integrate with your existing programs like your CRM and your MAP. Your data should be cleansed and augmented so that you are truly getting a current market view and not just a view of your internal, and I would suggest probably stagnant data. Another part of knowing your marketing is understanding where your strengths and weaknesses lie. For this, you need a solution that will also allow you to segment data, preferably in a visual manner, so that you know where to focus. Now, what this slide indicates is segmentation filters that show client density by location and by industry, and a variety of other attributes. This is really a great visual example of a customer who knows their market and understands where the opportunities lie. Once you fully understand your current customer and market situation, you can start identifying key accounts and contacts, both for new business acquisition and for current customer expansion. In this case, it's important that your tech provider be able to give you deep and detailed information by both accounts and contacts so you get a complete view. Remember, while we want the company logos on your wall, it's the contacts who make the purchase decisions, so it has to be a combined approach. Another important tool in the modern-day toolkit is the ability to find lookalike contacts in white space. After all, we all know that finding customers as close in DNA to your current customers as possible gives you the very best chance of being successful. So once you have your target account and contact lists, you can start performing the research necessary to really craft targeted, effective campaigns. In this case, things like a SWOT analysis, company trends, like are they opening new offices, are they a green company, do they do business in China, what are their company financials, they all come into play. So when you're looking for a provider of data for this aspect of your ABM stack, make sure the information is constantly updated and look for a company with a wide array of attributes on which you can search. Because we all know the more detailed information you have, the more customized your ABM program will be and the more success you'll see. All right, here's where the rubber meets the road, engagement. Even though you've done extensive research and you've made sure you have the perfect accounts, you need to have a solution that will provide you real-time updates on those targets. We all know in business nothing stays the same, so it's really imperative to understand when something has happened at a company that would either give you a reason to call or maybe even pull them off your target list or ward off a competitive threat. Engagement comes in many forms, and I think it's important to point these out because there are vendors that cover every single one of these areas. We often find that people only talk in context of digital marketing when discussing ABM. And yes, ABM can be extremely beneficial to your digital marketing programs and help you target accounts, cut costs, and increase conversions. But there are also the offline, in-person interactions that many people forget. And those are part of ABM as well. Anytime you have a meeting, a phone call, speak at a conference, those are potential interaction points with a target customer or prospect, and you still need to be prepared to have those extremely targeted and knowledgeable interactions just as you would online. In this case, finding a technology that allows deep company and contact research is a strong key to knowing your audience. So I want to take a moment and recap and put all this on one slide for you. So here's a sample tech stack and what it would look like based on the steps we've already discussed. First, you need to identify which pieces your company actually needs. For example, if you don't do any digital advertising, you probably don't need that piece in your tech stack. Then your goal will be to find the fewest amount of providers as possible to do all the tasks you need to do. And remember, this is really important. All your systems need to work together so you can have a single unified view of the customer, marketing, and sales data. This is something we like to call ecosystem connectivity. Start with cleaning and consolidating your data, then connect it out to the various technologies, and then continually update the information so it's current and, more importantly, actionable. So thus far, I've talked about the theory of how ABM is valuable to sales professionals but how much of this translates to actual revenue? I can tell you that account-based marketing is real, it's valuable, and companies are seeing tremendous results by adding account-based marketing to their mix. Take our customer, Vindicia, for example. Vindicia is a subscription billing and recurring payment solution. They support customers like the BBC Worldwide, NFL Digital Media, and the Australian telecom giant Telstra. Vindicia saw the potential that ABM had for establishing itself in a new market. So they put a new program in place in the second half of 2015. They then selected 1,200 accounts to go after. Then they looked at their internal systems, and they quickly realized that they did not have any information on half of their target accounts. They also weren't clear about decision makers in many of the accounts they did know. So at this point, Vindicia realized the need for a strong data foundation if it was really going to fuel and scale its ABM program. Having had some previous poor experiences with data providers, they turned to Avention to provide data on the missing target accounts. Based on the quality of the data and our customer-focused approach, they then expanded our relationship and started using our flagship OneSource platform to go beyond just data and to get deep insights on target accounts and associated contacts. Vindicia leveraged the strength of the OneSource platform directly through Salesforce, using our Salesforce connector, making it easy for sales to gain key insights into target accounts, especially those important decision makers. Now, in their business, buying decisions could be made by a CFO, a CRO, a CMO, even a solutions architect. So having insights into organizational structures, contacts, and titles was really important to them. And like most companies, Vindicia split sales activity between outside field reps and inside sales development reps. Avention Insights were able to keep both sets of reps focused on the ABM targets, improving the efficiency and effectiveness of both. Now, the connection with Salesforce and Avention data helped with a strong sales and marketing alignment Vindicia achieved as part of its ABM program by allowing the two teams to have one view of the target accounts. They also tagged ABM target accounts in Marketo, providing lead scoring and automated trigger alerts for the sales teams in response to account activity. And as mentioned before, this ecosystem connectivity is so important to a seamless ABM program. In their case, you can see that they've employed the services of several vendors in order to meet their needs. And the important thing is that those vendors talk with one another, pass the information back and forth, and keep it up to date. Now, here's the bottom line. In the quarter since rolling out their ABM program, Vindicia tells us they have generated a record pipeline, and they've crushed their sales goals. Wouldn't we all want that? They also credit Avention's OneSource solutions with helping identify net new opportunities. The Vindicia case study is just one of many that have seen sales accelerated through implementing an ABM program. Now, at Avention, we love to share more with you and show you how you can play a part in your ABM success story. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the opportunity to tell you about ABM and our fine company.